Today on Drawbli, we are drawing
Tangerine.
Click that subscribe button if you're new around here.
And comment below with ideas of what we can do to improve as artists.
Share your work online with the hashtag Drawbli, and let's get in and talk about Tangerine.
Okay, Ben, what was the premise of painting Tangerine?
So if you guys didn't check out our last video, you should definitely go look, because Abby and I both painted Lemon from Bullet Train, and now we're doing Tangerine from Bullet Train.
We did a canvas swap where after 1 hour we switched off to one another. And it was really fun to work on the foundation Ben laid down on Tangerine here. Now, Tangerine's from the movie Bullet Train. If you have not seen it,
go watch it.
It's awesome. We are not sponsored by them, obviously, but check it out. Very fun movie.
You don't know, maybe we are sponsored by them in the future.
Why would a movie that's already come out sponsor us retroactively?
Maybe they just really like us and what we do and what we stand for.
Does that
Speaking
happen
of,
a lot?
what do we stand for again?
We stand for learning.
Ooh, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And encouraging people to draw. Anybody can do it.
Yeah, you literally can, because we can.
Because we can. Look at us, we're doing it.
Look at us, we're doing it.
If you need an example, just look at us.
Yeah, no,
Anyone.
Seriously, you're allowed to. Do you think sometimes people, you know what, this is probably not something you resonate with.
Let's hear it.
Do you think sometimes some people feel like they almost like need to give themselves permission to try to be bad at things?
To try to be bad at
To
things.
try, to be bad at things.
I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah, I didn't know if I would be able to communicate this to you in a way you would.
So, like, give yourself permission to be bad? Like, it's okay to be bad kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, 100%, yes. Like,
Yeah.
that's what, like, learning any new skill is. You have to be like, it's okay to be bad.
Confidently bad, where you're like, hey, if my friends and family see this, it's not going to devastate. I'm not going to feel embarrassed because it's okay to be bad.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Actually, I have this video that I made when I announced that I was starting a drawing channel. And in it, I say, not in apt comparison whatsoever, but the fastest man in the world, Usain Bolt, right? He's a sprinter. But is Usain Bolt embarrassed that he's not a marathon runner or not, going to be able to compete in a marathon? No, no. So I'm not personally going to be embarrassed when I swap and go from 3D to start working on 2D. Of course I'm not going to be good at 2D. I've been doing 3D for so long, so I'm not going to be embarrassed. Like I said, not an apt comparison between myself and Usain Bolt, but I think the idea still sticks there.
Yeah, like remember that you are good at some things.
Yeah.
I don't know if that...
Even if you're not good at something, you're starting something new. It's okay to be bad at it. Like everybody loves the quote from Adventure Time from Jake the dog. The first step to being kind of good at something is being bad at something. So start by being bad at it, and eventually you'll get there. But hey, let's talk more about what we're doing here, which this is the first hour.
Yeah.
So we set 1 hour timers, and at this point I handed you my iPad and I was like, take it from here, you got it.
So the first thing I saw was that I wanted to blend your background that you'd created, because you have a nice hard edges in the portrait, and I wanted to contrast that with a more soft background so they would not compete for my attention. So that was what I did. It was really easy to do, so that was a great place to start. Then I had ideas that I was still going to leave you all your hard edges in your portrait. I was just going to soften where one color changes to another, still trying to leave hard juxtapositions of color. It got away from me, unfortunately, and things started to look pretty different, wonky. My proportions kind of, even with flipping my canvas, I just stared at it so long that I couldn't see anymore what the proportions were.
Do you think it's too late for us to change the name of our YouTube channel from Drawbli to Wonky?
To Wonky?
Yeah, just Wonky. Today on Wonky.
Today on Wonky Drawbli. It is a little late, but no, you go for it. Why don't you start a new YouTube channel called Wonky?
I'll get right on that.
And it can just be the stuff that we don't even post to Drawbli. You're
God.
You think the stuff on Drawbli is wonky. Wait till you see what's on Wonky this week. But I did what I infamously did in the previous video, which was repaint some eyes.
Ooh.
But he kind of had a issue partway through that where the darker eye is going to look like it's melting down his face.
Oh, man.
And the other eye
Ain't
is going
that
to look
just
like
the way
it's
it is?
bulging out of his head.
All right. So I'll talk about the eyes when they come up, when it gets to it.
Okay.
Because I have some things to say about the eyes.
Oh my gosh.
Some good things. Good things.
But yeah, his proportions got out of whack. Although I will say I did feel like going in that there was a lot proportionally I wanted to change. I just didn't do it as well as I had hoped I would.
How it go?
Yeah, I wanted to increase the size of his features in his face to account for
be
proportionally.
more expressive.
Yeah,
Gotta bring the expression
I
in.
felt like his eyes in the photo take up more of his face, his mustache and mouth
Expressive,
take up
baby.
more of his face.
Expressive.
So I attempted to increase their size and, yes, expression, I guess. I don't think I had expression in mind, but I wanted things to change.
Hell yeah. So the eyes, they get a little wonky here, but that's okay. Hey, you were mentioning the edge blending.
Yeah.
I mentioned in our last video, I have something that I've been working on, a new idea, a new technique, new strategy.
Yeah.
I'm going to share it with you in our next video because I think it's going to help you a lot.
Oh, with the edge blending? Okay. I'm all ears. I need some help.
I'm all ears. I'm on these ears and I'm blending them and I need help.
The redeeming parts of this portrait that I kept or put back in and was like, well, I guess that's not too bad, were the brush strokes like on his forehead that are clearly strokes, even if they're not in a very textured
No,
brush.
you have so many cool things going on here.
Yeah.
You do have some really good brush strokes, like just some solid things, some nice blending here and there. Overall, this is a massive improvement.
I do need to take listen to your words that you've said as a sculptor and be more comfortable with the alien phase. Because if I'm making these big changes,
true.
Of course
True
it's going to look
change.
freaky for a moment while the changes are being enacted.
You can't get caught up in the alien.
Yeah, and I was
Gotta-
getting caught up in the alien, especially here. I was like, oh no.
Ignore the alien. All right, so here's Abby's alien. No.
I probably could have kept going for a while and maybe redeemed some parts of this, but
So-
the hour was up.
So when Abby first handed this to me, the first thing I noticed was that the eyes were a little wonky. And if you actually look at the changes that I make here to the proportions of the eyes, I've already done them in that quick step right there. It was very minor changes that needed to happen, but it was just enough that it kind of pushed it to feeling weird. It was melting a little. But look, already it's starting to head into a better place, and now I'm just going over and working on the values. All these stuff that you did in terms of blending and brush strokes on the forehead and cheek, in the nose, I love all of that. I kept as much of that as I could. I actually went in and blended even more. Overall, I tried to keep as much of what you had done as possible.
There's such a power in fresh eyes. I think when we trade back and forth, we are really able to step even more into the position of art director for one another, simply because
Oh yeah,
we
for
have
sure.
that power of I'm seeing this for essentially the first time. The things that are wrong with it stand right out to me. And if we continue to collaborate in this way, we're gonna become so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, I have some ideas about that. I think you might be right that overall that's just kind of better, because the times I have grown the most in my art career, and I've heard many people say again and again, the times they grow the most in their art career is when they are in a collaborative environment where they either have an art director or they're on in an art team where you're getting multiple eyes on things and just instantly getting people to point out exactly what you need to do. So that's super powerful. But at the same time, if we're maybe not constantly trading back and forth, but constantly getting that, hey, take a look at this. What would you do? Instead of having the other person do it for an hour, maybe 5-10 minutes kind of thing. That's more of an art director typically wouldn't take your work and work on it for an hour or two.
Right.
Because they got more important things to do.
Yeah.
Directing people.
We don't have people
artistically.
to direct. Do you have any people to direct?
I got some students.
That's fair.
I have quite a few students, but
I just meant, do you have anywhere to be?
do I have anywhere to be?
That's not taking on the person as being the person drawing again. Also, we're back. Oh yeah, we already knew we were back to you drawing once again on this.
oh, did we? Oh yes.
I think we did mention
Yes,
that.
we did. I think I'm just finishing up the last little bits of
I love
techniques
what you've
here.
done with this, yeah.
Yeah, this is like me experimenting with one of these ideas, one of these techniques, and I'll talk to you more about it in our next video.
Ooh.
Spoilers. Well, not spoilers, but...
This turned out so good between the two of us. We gotta do this again. Honestly, though, what I loved about this, and I know we're out of time almost, but this was just fun. I had so much fun, and anything that brings fun into something, whether it's working out or, well, working out is the main thing I think of because I always follow the fun when it comes to working out. Well, then you're doing the wrong workouts.
Oh, of course.
Is follow the fun because that's going to take you farther than making yourself do the gosh darn thing.
That's also a rule of game design. Follow the fun.
Oh, well, if you want to follow the fun,
click that subscribe button.
And comment below with ideas of how
Fun.
we can improve as artists.
Oh, yeah, and that, of course. The thing that we do, yeah.
Share your work online with the hashtag Drawbli.
Or wonky.
No, we're not going to follow that hashtag. It's probably already got some things under it.
Oh, yeah. And this is the part where we say...
Goodbye.
Goomba. So,
wonky, wonky. Yes?
Oh, no. I'm so sorry for interrupting. Please continue.
No, that was the entire aria. That was my operatic masterpiece.
Wonky, 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 wonky. Wonky,
Wow.
wonky, wonky.
Act 4. Okay.
Act 4, wow. Post-credit scene.